I worked for the British government for 21 years at the Ministry of Defence. I was posted to a division where my duties included investigating the UFO phenomenon to assess their defence implications. Most of these things turned out to be misidentifications. People were reporting in good faith, but they were just misperceiving ordinary objects and phenomena, everything from aircraft, lights, meteors, satellites, weather balloons, etc. But at the end of all that, around 5% remained unexplained, even after a fairly rigorous investigation. We didn't say that means that they're extraterrestrial, but neither did we rule out that option. Unexplained meant unexplained, nothing more, nothing less. Government UFO research, sadly, isn't really like the X-Files. Fun though that would be. It's much more methodological. There's a process. I had no particular knowledge of or interest in UFOs. I really had no preconceived ideas about what I was going to find. As I started to go back through the archives, I began to think, wait a minute, we've had sightings from our own pilots, radar operators, we've had over the years photos and videos that intelligence community imagery analysts haven't been able to debunk. So there was more to this than just swamp gas and weather balloons.
Everyone wants to know if aliens are buzzing around in our skies.
The subject of unidentified flying objects has become a matter of national security.
Oh my gosh.
The world has fairly recently been introduced to a number of photos and videos of UFOs, or UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena, as we tend to call it. That's new to most people, but it's not new to me, and it's not new to those of us who've been looking at this from within government, whether that's in the US or the UK. I mean, this is the tip of the iceberg. Some of these ones are fairly highly classified. When I was doing this job for the UK government in the 90s, we got a lot of pilots contacting us. Some military pilots and some commercial airline. People come to me and say, I did not want to be known as Flying Saucer Fred for the rest of my Air Force career. And so they kept quiet. Finally, the sorts of people who always should have been looking at this, people on the Senate Intelligence Committee, the Armed Services Committee, they are now looking at this. And we've got the critical mass of pilots and radar operators and intelligence community personnel. But I will say this, I very much doubt that there is a single neat solution to the UFO mystery. Certainly a lot of the sightings will be secret prototype aircraft, missiles and drones, whether it is operated by the United States or whether it's operated by an adversary like Russia or China. And that's one reason why with this report to Congress, we can't just sit back and say, well, that's interesting. This needs to be not the end of the conversation, but the beginning of the conversation. Do I rule out the extraterrestrial hypothesis? No. I mean, that's almost philosophy, because you can't really prove a negative. But I think we should be prepared to think the unthinkable. And of all the solutions, as I sometimes say, extraterrestrials would be the most interesting and on one level the most fun.